What's up, guys? This is Justin from the Board Game Losers, and I am back with Altar Quest. It has been a hot minute since we've played this. I marathon Dungeon Crusade, and so I kind of took a break because the game was on my table for almost 2 months, literally. And so yeah, it's been a long road. I'm just doing some other things, but now I'm ready to get back to this, try to finish up some of these series. I'm excited about Altar Quest. I love Altar Quest. Super fun game. So yeah, we're going to continue on with our story. If we remember in the last, we finished Campaign 3. So we're going to start with Campaign 3. Chapter 3, we're going to start with Chapter 4 and continue on. Now, I've done some pre-setup, just reading through a quick look-see of what's coming up in the quest setup section. So there may be some modifications I have to make. But of course, I have our heroes over here ready to go. I've given out all the items and stuff like that, and we'll take a look at them in just a moment. But until then, let's get started. Of course, we have to start with the story. And we will go from there. So, without further ado, Chapter 4. Wasting no time, when you get back to Hawthorne, you head straight to the mayor's house. Having come and gone from here as often as you have, the only pause that the gate guard gives you is due to the caked-on filth covering you from the days of trudging in those disgusting lairs. Once he sees past the grime, his eyes go wide. "Oh, my apologies. Come in, come in. I'll send for the master immediately." He pauses, subtly putting a glove finger under his nose. "Let me show you the baths while you wait." After what feels like forever, and after burning through 2 bars of ivy getting cleaned up, you are shown back to the mayor's study and amenities within. Draped in an exquisite long coat of kid leather, the mayor awaits for you, lounging in his high-back chair, goblet in hand. He turns to you, the questions already on his ruby lips. "Where have you been? I thought we lost you." It says if vampiric infection is in the journal, which I believe it is. We'll read this next section, which is 38. So let's go back here to 38. 38 says, "Runes, bones!" Bolton shoots up to his feet supernaturally fast, his goblet sloshing red. Wine all over the table as he puts it down. He rushes across the room and leans in. His face inches away from yours. He carefully turns your head from one side to the other, using his thumbs to pull down on your cheeks to see the reds of your eyes. "What happened to you? I sent you to deal with Braglanders on a farmstead, and you come back shy a week later with blood in you? What in all the hells above and below happened?" After detailing the last several days' events in as much detail as you can muster, Bolton's unblinking eyes remain fixed on you. The minutes pass by as you explain, the servants of the house refilling your cups and bringing food whenever you need. He nods lightly as the facts unfold. Finally, he sighs. "Why, Nora Morn." He shakes his head slowly. "How far has she fallen? I feel like I just saw her. Could it be the altars are poisoning her thoughts as well?" He becomes lost in his thoughts. It's going to drive me nuts. Becomes lost in his thoughts for a moment, snapping back to attention with a sudden wrinkle in his brow. Huey knows more about these altars and what it is doing to the Denzians of the world. Bolton gestures to his servant. "Send for the old man." He returns his gaze and attention to you. So now we read 009. Back at the beginning. We're getting there, I promise. No. Wow, this is a long section. "You really must stay here until we locate Huey and talk with him tomorrow." The mayor places his hand on your shoulders. "Your first slumber while the blood is in you can be difficult. I know it can be too much for many folks, so you should know how it works." He swirls his goblet of crimson, staring down into the liquid with decades of past memories glazing his eyes. "You can live with it, feed it carefully, and not take life to quench its thirst. It will stave off the worst of it. Avoid direct light in your eyes. Try to keep your temper and mind yourself in other." He bites his lower lip and chuckles. "Passionate moments. It can be an effective asset, even if you never fully give in to it." He clears his throat and begins to pace the room. "You will never reach the full potential of someone born into it like myself, but it will be a whole new world to be sure. He pauses, lowers his gaze, and turns back. But if you want to be rid of it before it becomes permanent, you will need to drink a mouthful of Wynora Morn's blood and chase it with a spoonful of hemlock sap. It is awful, but it works. So much around us has changed greatly in the last few days. He refills his cup from a dark bottle in a side cabinet. I cannot wave it away as merely coincidence. It hasn't just been the frocks going after the Raglanders either. Nests of Poxoid have blistered up from the down below all over the countryside. I heard of increased bray attacks in the west. We've all heard the moon children in the hills. Now there are thralls packing up under Wynora's twisted banner. It has to be connected. He starts toward the door. We can talk tomorrow after we find Huey. He knows more than he has been letting on, for sure. There are guest rooms upstairs for each of you. Please stay and get some rest. You'll need it. It takes you a while to calm your mind, but the strong drink and noble trappings help you find slumber nonetheless. For a few short hours, you are surrounded by strange dreams, unwanted memories, and for some, unsettling images. Then it says, if vampiric infection is not in the journal, it is. If vampiric infection is in the journal, read 40. Well, it says perform the first 2 games normal setup, but like I said, I'll just modify whatever I need to. Your sleep is full of nightmares, crimson eyes floating on a sea of darkness, rivers of blood that run from all the corners of your vision, and the groaning sound of tree branches bending in the night winds crowd your mind and cause you to wake up several times throughout your rest. Each time your gums ache a little more and your stomach growls a little deeper, but you manage to fight yourself back to sleep. The hero with vampiric infection suffers 1 damage. And that is Gavin. So Gavin suffers the damage. Great. Awesome. And that's the end of 40. You're awakened suddenly by the mayor himself bursting into your rooms, a simple meal and a spiced table wine ready for you to start the new day. Get up and get dressed and meet us downstairs. He pauses before sweeping the door again. Out the door again. Huey has been captured. Meeting in the study, Morse greets you with a rough-drawn map that looks like it goes to a swampy ruin nearly half a day's walk from Hawthorne's walls. You were right. I knew it. The appearance of all those altars and the madness they're bringing with their awakening is a threat to us all, and Huey knows more about those damn things than anyone else this side of the Silveran's banks. He spins on his heels and thrusts a strip of torn yellow linen sleeve into the air. Huey's robe. This was found in the hollow just outside of town. String tracks all around it, and my men tell me they lead to the lair on this map. The timbre of his voice transforms into a veritable growl. Go and find Huey, the mayor orders flatly. If monsters like Morn want him, he must know something truly important. We need him back. We need what he knows about the altars, the monsters, and Wynora's thrice-damned child. He nods to his manservant, who brings in a pile of heavy leather satchels, while you can't help but ponder on how much more Morse might know than he's telling you. You're already packed. Bolton looks worried, but still maintains an air of confidence. No time to waste, my friends. Alright, the heroes search the deck for the discarded pack card and resolve it. So we're going to find the discarded pack card. Discarded pack card. Give these a shuffle from the search deck. Bing, bang, boom. It said gain 2 supply and discard this card. Awesome. Gain 2 supply. Really should probably put that closer if I could, but I don't have a good place for it. 2 supply, so we'll put that right there. Alright, cool. Quest setup. You follow the tracks, and suspiciously convenient number of torn strips of yellow linen from Huey's robe are tucked conspicuously into bushes and hedgerows along the way to a looming black wren in the side of a loamy mound. Stones inside are rough and uneven, creating a natural staircase leading down into what you hope will be where you will liberate the old coot and bring him back to the Bolton. Easy, right? Not so much, I think. Okay, so quest deck is the rescue. So I've got that here. Threat deck, any. I randomly rolled, and we've got the outlaws for the threat deck. The villain deck, any. I randomly rolled, and we got the Thane of Nethander. Special setup, it says replace the prisoner ally card with Huey Any effect that references the prisoner in this quest applies to Huey. So I've got Huey's card right here. All right. And so let's look at the rescue. So we remove each objective card from the deck. Place one objective card in each hero's threat area. Remove the rest from the game. So Gavin has Dispel Warding, and Willow has Distract the Guards. Remove the prisoner from the quest deck and place it in the villain play area. Now that's the card that we replaced with Huey, so that's done. Remove each shackle card from the quest deck, shuffle them together, and set them near the quest area to create the shackle deck. That is off to the side. This is a separate deck. I've got that right here. Attach the top of the area to create the shackle deck. Attach the top card of the shackle deck to the prisoner. Oh, I forgot to do that. This is the top card. Okay. Shared resistance. Interesting. And then I did do the other part. This week's come up, but this is now what we see. Well, let's put that here. Shared resistance. Interact 1. Test 3. If you pass, discard this card and gain control of the prisoner. Now, unfortunately, well, they both have a 2, so it's not terrible. So that's done. Let's shuffle together the cell and 3 other random quest cards, place them at the bottom of the quest deck, and flip this card over. I did that. If a hero controls the prisoner and its token is adjacent to the altar with at least one hero, with no enemies in the room, the heroes win. If the prisoner is defeated, place its card in the villain play area and then attach the top card of the shackle deck to the prisoner. Its token stays on the board. While there are objective cards in play, heroes cannot perform the interact effects on the shackle. Activate. If the hero controls the prisoner, each hero with no minion in their threat area draws a threat card. So basically, we're always going to have to be fighting somebody. So my initial thought is if we can just get somebody into the room and have them block the door and get whatever's in the room over there with them. Hopefully that'll work. Okay. Interesting. So that's the rescue. The altar that we picked, which was the solar altar. Let's see. Activate. Each hero may discard 1 focus to change the altar to the result of their choice. Each hero in the altar's room may heal 1 damage, and we can spend a holy. Each figure heals 1 damage. Now the interesting part of that is that means everybody's going to heal. So it says each figure, not each hero, each figure. Yeah, so that's with this book. It's good to go. So the outlaws. Desperate people often turn to the lawlessness that impedes civilization. Outlaws flourish in Eradika, where the civilized world still reels from long wars. Threat tokens represent their cunning ability to prevent hero card draw. Each time a hero with 1 or more threat tokens will draw a card, that hero must move 1 threat token from their hero card to a minion threat card instead. If unable to move a threat token this way, discard a focus. When a minion threat is defeated, for each threat token on the card, the hero may draw 1 card from their deck. So basically, it like keeps them from drawing them until you defeat whoever. Then you get to draw them. Interesting. Thane the Nethander. Setup. Oh well, I guess I should read this. Many prophecies circle around the mysterious Thane of Nethander. From deep below Eradikia, the corpse bell was rang with the coming of the altars, and the Thane has finally arrived, but none can discern its purpose. Says search the lurker deck for Profane Shambler. That's this card right here. Place it in the villain play area and place its figure on the card. This is the servant. This card cannot leave play. If the servant is defeated, discard all damage and place its figure on the card. So when we activate in the villain step, if the servant figure is on its card, the hero with the fewest cards in their threat area spawns it. And with this symbol, not, the servant gains 1p armor tokens. Well, that's horrible. I mean, he's 2 defense, 3 health. It's not a lot of health, but it is there. We do have this card, unfortunately. So every minion is going to have one additional health. I don't believe we have any rivals in this, and the villain is going to have an additional 2 health whenever we reveal him. So that sucks. So, right, that takes care of that. I randomly rolled and kind of like counted, like kind of assigned each square or each room a number, and we're going to start here in this room. Like I said, we have our heroes over here, and let's look at our heroes and what they've got. Alright, so here's our first hero, Willow. Remember, she has the melody tokens, which are special. Whenever it's discarded, they're returned to the supply, so she gets it back. If somebody has a rune card, or sorry, when resolving the rune effects on their cards, heroes can treat each melody token on the hero character card as if it was a matching rune in the altar pool. After resolving the rune effect, a hero must either discard the melody token. After resolving a rune effect, a hero must either discard a melody token or roll a matching altar die in the altar pool. When a rune effect on an enemy card would resolve, the heroes may prevent it by discarding a melody token from that enemy card. In this case, the rune effect is not resolved and the altar die is not rolled. So that's her special dealio there. She has this Distract the Guards card. Interact from the same room as an enemy. You may do a task with purple, which is actually Charisma, I believe, which is her best thing to distract the guards. Activate, place the quest token on this card. Then if there are 3 or more quest tokens on this card, discard 3 quest tokens and draw a lurker card. So if we can get this taken care of, it'll keep us from drawing a lurker card, which could be anything. She does have the decorative urn, which adds 1 to her health value. If she's the target's Winona or Morn, she's going to get 1 less defense on her. She also has the Mysterious Stone. We can exhaust it to cancel an altar effect. The altar die is still rolled. Equipment-wise, she's going to take the Staff of Haunting. So she is an action. She can attack with a Charisma +1. So that'd be 4 dice. She can exhaust a knight to deal damage to an enemy in your room and move it up to 2 spaces. So that's going to be a good way to like get them out. Of course, it's got a range of 2, so that's a thing. Also, she has her Bury Loot with a range of 5. This is action test Charisma. For each success, place a melody token on an enemy card or a hero. We can exhaust water to choose a hero within range to gain 2 focus. So there you go. That's her. That's how we're going to get the melody tokens out there, basically. And I believe that is it for her. As far as her standard cards, that Bury Loot is her standard card. We have the Ring of Intellect, which is your moon inflicts. You inflict moon and resist moon test. Gain an additional die. We can exhaust fire on a moon test to gain an additional die. So it's going to basically make those intellect tests a little bit better for her. So that is our Willow. Remember, she has 10 out of 11 health because of the urn, 1 armor. She can exhaust wind to place a melody token on a hero character card or enemy card. So that's another way for her to get some melody tokens out there in addition to her Bury Loot. Of course, this is just an exhaust effect. So, you know, the Bury Loot, we can potentially, though, put out a lot more tokens with the Bury Loot because she's going to be rolling 3 dice. So that could be potentially extremely beneficial. Yep, so that takes care of her. So let's take a quick look at our boy Gavin, and let's see what he's got. Alright, let's go. A little bit better shot, sort of. Okay, so our hero over here. He's got that objective, the spell warding. He's got the vampiric perfection. He has 2 additional health, so he actually has 14, but of course he took 1 damage already, so that's a thing. He's got Valor's Message, which lets us exhaust or discard a focus. When we exhaust this, we may discard a focus to change one altar to a die to a result of choice. And the Lunar Pendant, we can exhaust it after a hero in range, which is 5. Rolls the dice for test, and discard 1 inspiration to add a critical success, or we can exhaust it with Holy. Each hero in range gains 1 inspiration. So we need to keep them kind of like together, I think, to especially help with his cards. So weapon-wise, he normally has his big sword, but we're not going with big sword. Instead, we're going with this axe, which is and it's an action. When he gets attack, the red attack +1, so he's going to get 4 dice to attack with this thing, and it targets up to 2 enemies within range. So he could hit potentially 2 people at the same time. We can exhaust Earth to deal 2 damage to an enemy within range. Now remember, we had another weapon, which was a sword, which let us deal 1 damage to 2 enemies within range. But I'm going with a great axe just to try to hopefully maybe, you know, when we get to some of those tougher enemies, have a better chance at doing some extra damage, because that maybe doing 2 damage is really what we need to make all the difference in the world. So, I know that is a long introduction, but that is the introduction for Chapter 4. So, as such, let us sally forth, and we'll go ahead with it. So I am going to use just, I am going to be using these D6s to track health, damage. I'm going to be using these little beads when I exhaust an item or whatever. I'm going to put that over it just to remind myself that that's happened, and then I'm going to drop this on top of the deck whenever I complete that hero, just to make sure that I don't forget who has and who has not gone. And I've already rolled the dice, and lots of fire. Well, I guess I should do it on camera. Let's do it on camera. Basically, there you go, there's the first one. What we don't want is we don't want dark. And we have not. We don't want dark. Wow, okay. Well, that is extremely unfortunate. Yeah. We need to do something about that. Down here where you can't see, I've got the row of cards. You probably won't see those again as we play until, well, you probably won't see those again just because this board is big, and like I said, I'm limited on table space. I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a shot of everything, and so it is what it is. So